Shalom. So tonight we're going to look at the essence of an Israelite. One of the things is that we call ourselves Israelite. We call ourselves Israelites, but we never really get into the qualities of being an Israelite, right? So what happens is, and for the fact that we're coming from this Western culture, how words can separate from their meaning or from their function. So there's a dissonance in even the way we think. So if there's a cognitive dissonance in the way we think, there will also be the same fault or flaw in the way we do things, right? So we will call ourselves Israelites, but we live a certain type of way that does not go with it. So when you're dealing with the essence of something, right, you're dealing with the inherent nature of that thing. So before we get to the essence of an Israelite, we're going to try to understand this word first. So essence is going into the nature of something. So we're just going to use something simple that all of us can relate to. And the simple thing is honey. We all know, right? Now, when you're dealing with the properties, right, you have qualities that are essential, qualities that are non-essential. So let's work together. What are some of the non-essential qualities of honey, right? Honey can be various ways. It can be dark, it can be light, it can be organic, it can be raw, can be crystallized, etc. Right? Now, what is the essential quality of honey? What is the nature? Nature meaning what? That which it cannot live without. So it is what makes it what it is. So what is essential to the honey that all of these have in common? The honey has to be sweet. So the sweet is the honey and the honey is the sweet. You cannot separate these two because it is what makes it what it is. Right? So now that we have something that we can relate to, we're going to go into something deeper, something more spiritual. Right? So what's going to happen is I'm not going to be reading directly from the scripture, but what I'll be doing is posting the ones that I'm quoting from. All right? So to get to this, essence of being an Israelite is we're going to have to go back to Adam. And what you'll understand is that when you're dealing with all men, meaning all seeds of men, they are not all Adam. We need to understand that. When you're dealing with all the races of man, you deal with the scripture calls them in the beginning, when they were created. Let me just put it here. So when you're dealing with all men, we are dealing with creature. Creature meaning a living being. Human, animal, whatever it is. We're all creatures, right? So when he says he created from the waters moving creatures that have life, we were created. All seeds of men were created, right? So now we get this out of the way. When it comes to the Most High dealing with one seed of man, you deal with what we call Adam, right? Adam. Now, what is embedded in this word here? When you're dealing with you deal with the strength or the strong leader, etc. Right? Now, when you're dealing with dam, what is this? This is the Hebrew word for blood. Where do you get your blood from? Your mother and your father. So when you're dealing with dam, which is the blood, this is what comes from mother and father. This part of you comes from Yahweh, right? Now, in the Western culture, there's this concept of one God, right? This might not be easy for everyone to understand, because when it says one God, it doesn't mean that there's only one existing God. All nations have their own God. Every nation have their own Most High. So when we talk about Yahweh, is this the Most High of all nations? When Moses, for example, went to Pharaoh and he said the God of the Hebrews came to him and said, let his people go. He was talking about Yahweh. What was Pharaoh's response? Who is your God? Or tell your God, or the God of the Hebrews. Pharaoh does not know him. It's the same way that we don't know the gods of the other nations. Not that we know their names, but we don't know them, if you understand what I'm saying, right? So we have to understand this part very clear. So when you get to Genesis chapter 2, when he says he formed man of the dust of the ground and turned him into a living soul, he was talking to his chosen race when he started dealing with them. When you go to Genesis 5 and he says, male and female created he them and called their name Adam, he was not talking about every creature on the face of the earth. That's why when you go into the lineage, you see Cain, Abel, Seth, and so forth. Cain, Abel, Seth, they did not come out of all creatures. They came out of this race, which later is called the Israelite, through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? Now, what is the essence of an Israelite? What are the essential qualities, right, of an Israelite? Now, let's go back to our chart here. Non-essential and essential, right? Now, one of the things people often talk about is the color of the skin, right? Now, does an Israelite have to be black with woolly hair? Can a white person, can a European, can a person with blonde hair, blue eyes, pale skin be an Israelite? Of course, because that is your skin complexion. Your complexion is non-essential. Your texture or color is non-essential. So even though when it describes the Most High or the Messiah, it talks about this woolly hair. This is talking about a texture. But he said in the book of Isaiah that he would retrieve his people from Patmos and this place, Elam and so forth. Think about it. If you go to find the Israelites in among the East Indians, would you be looking for black skin with woolly hair? No. If you go to China and those places to look for Israelites, would you be looking for this? No. Different people look different way based on something we call climatology, right? Because depending on where you are, you can have different looks, right? For example, some people in certain parts of Jamaica, like in Manchester, that is very cool. So they have a more refined look, as opposed to some people in further west, where it's hotter, right? So yes, complexion, hair texture, color, eye color, just the same, right? And as dealing with this, the skin complexion also, it says Israel is like a speckled bird. Everything come out of that, right? So this person might be brown, dark brown, lighter complexion. This person might be white, very pale skin, or whatever it is, right? All of these are in the DNA. These are languages that are inside the DNA, right? So when you're even dealing with DNA, what happens is that the man and the woman, certain things are mixed. But inside of this, there is one language that is prominent, that cannot be altered, that cannot be mixed. And it is the seed. Let me write it here. Seed. Because seed only goes with eggs. Right? So this is why we don't say you are half of your mother and half of your father. Because women don't carry seeds, they carry eggs. And men don't carry eggs, we carry seed. So there's no mixing here, right? Everything else can be altered. All right? So these are examples of non-essential qualities. But what is essential to being an Israelite? Right? As we know, one thing is the seed, because you have to be of Jacob, descendants of the curses, right? That's the first thing. The next thing is the laws of the Most High. It can resonate with your spirit because you came from here. You came from his lineage spiritually. The reason why when you deal with like religions, right, or religious people, you can always group people according to religion. So you can say, yes, you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, you are this, you are that, right? But when you're dealing with the laws of the Most High, it does not sit with certain spirits, right? So you take a Chinese by nationality and he can convert to Christianity, because guess what? They can still eat their pork, they can still do all this transgression, and they don't have to deal with the curses that we put up with, right? Now take a Chinese that is a Christian or whatever religion they want to follow. Tell them to go and keep all the laws of the Most High, Yahweh. It's not in their spirit to do that, right? So when you're dealing with the essence, let's go here. Now, as we know, the Most High is a spirit, right? So his nature or his quality, his essence, is not something visible or tangible or perceivable, right? So when we talk about, when we deal with emotions and so forth, right, these things have objective qualities, and this is why we don't refer to certain things as emotion, but rather your inherent nature, like love, for example. Love is not an emotion, it is the nature of your very existence, it's the nature of your very being. All the atoms that hold everything together, that is what we refer to as love. It is the essence, right? So when I'm dealing with these are love, peace, beauty, compassion, grace slash mercy, truth, humility, and the list goes on. So just to let you know, these don't have objective qualities, right? As opposed to emotions, where you deal with anger, sadness, depression, and all of those things. Those are emotions, those have objective qualities. So when we talk about the image of the Most High, we are not talking about a physical image. When we align our spirit with this, we become devoted to the Most High. We become one with the Most High. So all the qualities, we start to live up to the characteristics of this, of an Israelite. You no longer have to tell someone, hey, I'm an Israelite. They will look at the customs you keep, your ceremonial laws you keep in the Passover, the Hanukkah, and all of those feasts, right? They can tell the way you are, the way you're being civilized, how you treat each other, moral laws, right? All of those things. They can see that that is the express image of his word. So when he says the Messiah is the express image of the invisible God, this is what we're talking about. He portrayed all of these qualities. It was not his physical appearance that was the image. The image is this. Non-objective qualities that are inherent in what you are, because it comes from him. So as it says, he is a spirit. All of us as Israelites have a portion of his spirit. And this is why we all refer to ourselves as whenever each of us speak, right? This is how we talk. When we say I am, we refer to this is what we refer to here, the spirit in us, right? You call me Andrew, but I don't refer to myself as Andrew. I refer to myself as this. This is the Hebrew word ahaya. Each of us use this. But when we're talking about our source, we use this. So, to truly be an Israelite, we have to understand the essential qualities that makes us what we are, not who we are. All of us will have different personalities, right, as individuals. But when it comes to the essential qualities, all of us have that in common. There is no difference. And this is where all the changes come in. Once you start to recognize who you are, or should I say what you are, then you'll start to call to remembrance all of what you need to do. Now you're going to start living to the characteristics of what you truly are. You come to the truth of yourself. You come to the nature of your own being. Now you start living accordingly to that nature. So what we are now today, what we are like today is like Sinbad when he was casted out of his kingdom after his father died, and what was his name? Mufasa told him to go away and never to return. He started moving around with the pigs and the snake, the whatever those animals were, and eating all types of things. But when he remembered himself, he went back to his nature. So all of us have to pass through this phase. And this is why when you refer to the term Hebrew, you're dealing with what? Pass through or cross over. You cross over from the flesh to your higher part of your being, the spirit. Now we are in the image of our mothers and fathers. All the trauma and everything passed down through the blood in us, through years of centuries of slavery. We are living the stress from that now. But as we wake up to our true identity, our true nature, we start to do what? Slowly move into a relationship with the higher part of our existence and becoming one with Him, becoming a replica of His Word, becoming the express image of His Word. So it manifests in our behaviors, how we treat each other, how we do things, how we live. The essence of an Israelite. Shalom.